Okay. Hopefully you can now hear me. I'm just okay. Yeah. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to pop on and do a quick live tonight. I say quick, but you never know how these things go. So just so you know, you are at the scene with me, your host, Hayley V. I'm really new to this, so like I'm self-taught. Yeah, when it comes to crime, I'm very clued up and very well read. But when it comes to technology, it's been a bit of a struggle for me. So I've just been literally learning as I've been going along. So it's been interesting, I guess. Oh, hey, Louise. Louise, I wish I did have it, let me tell you. Honest to God, it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. But you know what? I'm here, and unless I keep doing these lives, I'm not going to get any better. So I've just got to kind of get over my nervousness, and yeah, hopefully I'll get there eventually. Sorry, I'm just drinking my coffee. I was a bit late. I was going to try and go a bit earlier, but time just kind of went on. So I don't know. So Louise, it's so good to see you here. Thank you for your support. So yesterday I looked at the Murdaugh trials, because at the moment, I don't know about you or anyone who's watching this on replay, but I'm just finding it like fascinating, and there's just so much to it as well. I mean, it's really complex. So just in case you missed it, yesterday I did a live video, and I just wanted to go. I did the interview that Alex does in the car with the police. I just found was really, really telling. And you know what? Like you, I heard you on, yeah, for justice. As I celebrate, I love your thoughts and accent. Thank you. And you know what? Like you, it is fascinating, and I am honestly, I'm so baffled. So yeah, I did this live yesterday, and it was the one, when he's sitting in the car because it was really raining, like rainy outside. So you had all four of them sitting in that car, and there was so much about his demeanor and his actions, vocally, facial expressions, stuff that he did that just really, really stood out to me. So I kind of just wanted to go back over a little bit of that. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna just kind of go back over that. So I mean, yeah, for someone whose wife and kids had just been shot, I mean, like you said, I mean, come on. When you see that interview, he honestly, he doesn't oh, I know, the Nicola Bulley. I need to, do you know what? Let me just, right, I know there's so much to talk about. Yeah, okay. Do you know what? Let's go to that first, because I was going to go to that first. So, if I'm just going back and forth. So, Lou, so I did, because I'm on TikTok as well. So I did a couple of videos. I did one yesterday, just did an update. I did one the day before, which is when I heard about it. And I don't know about you, but when I looked today just to see what was kind of going on, and I've also got someone in my TikTok who follows me, who know it's like her mum's friend. So she's been giving me like little bits of info. I mean, she's got two young girls. I mean, this is, you know, we wasn't sure about whether she walked or drove, but apparently she dropped the kids off to school. She parked in the car park, which for the park itself, and then she went on the walk. So, but what really got me, because I knew that they'd found her phone, mobile phone, and the dog by the bench. I mean, straight away, like, I'm a dog owner, and most people, I mean, who leaves your dog? You might drop your phone, and maybe someone found it and put it on the bench, but I mean, you're not gonna forget about your dog. So straight away, I just thought, oh my God, this doesn't sound right. And so then today, I had a look. I had a look on the little update, which I'll show you in a minute, and she. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. So Louise, you're saying that at the moment I'm leaning towards the dog going into the water and a dog in to save her, but it's baffling. So I guess that's possible if, because I always think, then I thought, well, no, because he was found by the bench. But what if she got him out, and then when she tried to get out, she couldn't. So do you know what? That is a possibility that I hadn't thought about that. I'm just thinking, well, a dog's been found, her phone's on the bench, so. And wouldn't that make sense as well if maybe, like, if you was gonna get into the water, you wouldn't get in the water with your phone. So that, yeah, there could be something in that, you know. So yeah, maybe she got the dog out, because I think, didn't they say there was like it was quite strong, the currents. I mean, I don't know that, I'm not familiar with that area. So I mean, it's possible, isn't it? I mean, I know the divers were in there today looking, and the other thing that I thought was really strange is they said when they found her phone, she was in the middle of, she was on a conference call, and I thought, oh no, like that's awful. Like, so her phone was still linked to that conference call. So that points out, so she didn't just it, I mean, there's only real two options, isn't there now? So either she's been taken, she was abducted, phone left, dog left, or like you just said, Louise, and which I hadn't even thought about, but is that, yeah, what if she did? What if the dog went in and she tried to, you know, she got the dog out? And I guess, I mean, let's face it, dogs can drive pretty quickly, can't they? So that's a really good point, you know. Either way, she's got two little girls. I think they're like 7 and 10. And it's just so sad. It's really sad. So I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. I did speak to her mum's friend's daughter on TikTok today, and they said they were just still waiting, like, for news. So, yeah, I mean, God, that poor family, you know, what must they be thinking? So yeah, while I'm on that, let me just share this for anybody, because this is what I was going to do first, and then I just like got lost track and got all excited because of this Alex Murdaugh. And I should probably do my disclaimer as well, as in, you know, this is just, you know, for me, our chats are always going to be really chilled. You know, definitely bring your coffee, get your PJs on. And the disclaimer is, and don't forget snacks. And obviously, you know, whatever you hear is my opinion and is my opinion only. But I will tell you, I'm not into clickbaiting. I'm not into like shock value stuff to get you know, to get subscribers. I just want like just down to earth, like-minded people who just love crime, you know, and a bit of news. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So it's that abandoned house. I don't know if I've seen it, so let me just get this video. I took the volume off because so I can't see chat right now, but that's okay because we're just gonna like I just want to get what I'm doing. That has nothing to do with me. What was that? Oh my god. Right, okay, so I've now just lost my alright, I'm gonna come off that one. Right, I just need to go back and find my video. Alright, where is it? Oh yeah. Okay, it's gotta be this one. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to share my tab again. Oh, so you've got a nice oh, do you know what? I'm so jealous. No, do you know what? No, I'm not jealous. I'm not gonna say that. And the reason being is because I'm a recovering alcoholic, which is why I just drink lots of coffee. But you enjoy your wine. You deserve it, I'm sure. Yes, I'm not oh yeah, I don't know much about where that area is. So yeah, so like you, yeah, I saw about the creepy. They said the abandoned house looked a bit creepy, but and um, I guess they've checked it. So oh, I don't know, and I'm honestly, I'm just yeah, thank you. It's been a journey, you know. Right, so I'm now gonna do what I wanted to do, which was to share my screen and actually share the right video because okay, share. All right, so let me play and just move it along. Yeah, right, okay. I just want to pause it and get my volume up. All right, so this was a bit of video that I saw today. I'm guessing there's going to be like a proper update later, so we'll see. Right, so there's no sound to this because it was on a copyright. So let me just go back just slightly. Okay. So so for anyone who's coming in or is watching this on replay, so this is all about her. So she's 46. Nicola Bulley. She was reported missing on Friday. So apparently she dropped her 2 children off at school. 2 little girls she has. I think they're about 7 and 10. This was a place where she went often, and maybe it was a routine of hers. So she, yeah, dropped her kids off to school, drove to her local park. They've got a car park there, so she parked there and takes her dog for a walk, and that was on Friday, 27th. So it was about 9ish, and obviously this is in Lancashire, and where she was walking was literally just adjacent to that river Weir. I hope I'm saying that right. So search teams so far found her phone, which was discovered on a bench along a river path, with the mobile still logged into a work conference call when it was found. So again, like going back to what you were saying, Louise, you know, when I saw that today, my stomach kind of went. because I literally thought, I was like, oh my God, it's bad enough that her dog was there and her phone was there, but that she was in the middle of a conference call. So it has to be either an abduction. We know it wasn't an accident. Like, she didn't have a heart attack because she would have been found. And then, like you just said, Lou, perhaps the dog fell into that water. She jumped in, put the phone on the bench, which would make sense. Got the dog out, and she couldn't get out. I mean, yeah, that's horrible. Oh, yeah. So yeah. Definitely, it had to have happened really quick, didn't it? Without a doubt. So it just doesn't sound good, does it? So I don't know about you, but I don't know much about this river. But I'm sure I heard somewhere that someone said it was quite fast moving. So again, maybe. So police and mountain rescue. So they're searching the river at the moment. Searching all the wooded areas. There's a lot of grounds there for them to cover. Someone also said to me that that they'd looked this area up on the map and they thought it was near some caravans. I don't know if I don't know if that's relevant. I have no idea, but someone said they looked it up and they wondered if that was relevant. So I'm guessing if it was, they would have checked it. So Louise, dog lead and harness on bench. 2, understand the lead, but the harness is a bit odd. You do keep them on your. I've got a Frenchie, and yeah, you do, because his lead attaches. You know, he's got one of those, them harnesses that go around, so it stops them their neck, doesn't it? So when you walk them, you're not pulling on your dog. For anyone who doesn't have a dog, so if I was to take my dog for a walk, there's no. I mean, I wouldn't take off. I might unclip the lead, but I wouldn't touch the harness. Unless you took, and so Louise, unless you took the harness off to let dog go for a swim, maybe. Be great if we knew more about her normal habits. Yeah, I think so, definitely. I'm wondering, I'm guessing the family would know. Was that a usual thing? Would she have done that? Was she, did she usually let the dog go for a swim? But the weather was quite cold, wasn't it? So, like, wouldn't the water been quite cold for the dog? My Frenchie, he doesn't even like it if it's raining out there. He's such a wuss. So, but I mean, all dogs are different, aren't they? So police. So this was yesterday, wasn't it? They said they had a confirmed key witness who was a man in his 70s who was walking his dog in the area. So yeah. So yesterday we got that news, and going on the description, I thought, oh, I don't know really what to make of that, because if he was in his 70s, he didn't strike me as being the sort of person that might abduct a young woman. Sorry, because I'm drinking my coffee here as well. But they did also say that he was quite well built. So then I thought, well, okay, then that maybe that it is possible. So yes, Louise says yes, freezing as time goes on. Yeah, I know. See, that water would have been absolutely freezing. I'm in the south, obviously, from my accent. So, but I don't know about Lancashire. Is it colder? I don't even know where Lancashire is. It up north? Is it lower? me and geography, we don't do. Do you know what? After watching all this stuff on YouTube, because like you, Lou, you're probably the same as me, and we tend to listen to more kind of, I don't know why, like more people, other creators that are from USA. So I probably know more about the geography of America than I do about the country where I live, which is really odd. So yeah, so we knew that. Yeah, so it says there's local community, they're joining in for the search. And there she is. I mean, she's so pretty. And she's a mummy to 2 girls. And you just, honestly, isn't it awful? You just, I mean, what do you say to, you know, I wonder what they're saying to the children. Hey, I mean, they're probably just, let's say maybe mummy's gone away for a couple of days, but I'm praying for good news. I'm guessing, I don't know about you, Louise, but I'm guessing that if it's not one of those 2 scenarios, then the next best thing would be that someone has abducted her, but she's being she's being kept captive, and as awful as that is, she might be found. So that's, yeah, so that was what I wanted to talk about first today, and then I got a bit excited because of the Murdaugh stuff. So yeah, prayers for that, and I'm gonna keep obviously, yeah, we'll all keep up to date on what's going to go on with that, because it's very, very worrying, and I don't know, got a bad feeling. Okay, so let's go back to Murdaugh. So let me remove that. I don't want you. Okay, let's remove that. Right, yeah. So yesterday, right, I'm just trying to find where I am. Yeah, so yesterday, like I said, I looked over the police interview that Alex Murdaugh gave to the police while he was in the car, and there was like 4 of them in the car. He was sat in the front, and right, I just want to be quiet. Sorry about that. Okay. Right. So the reason that I wanted to look at that interview yesterday was because, he was wearing this white shirt, which struck out to me straight away. And there was a few, and if like I said, if you haven't seen it, if you go back on the replay, there were quite a few things that struck out to me that I just thought we need to look at this a little bit more in depth. And so we kind of watched it through, and then we watched it through again, and I kind of just kept stopping it as things were like, at points where I thought we should be showing a little bit more interest, points that I thought were kind of interesting. So today I'm going to I think what we'll do is we're just going to play the 911 call. Because just because of what he says on there, and obviously it's relevant and it's important, and it's like 4 minutes long, so we're just going to play that, and then we will have a look at some bits that I've just found today. Okay. Let me find my spot. Sorry, so this is the initial 911 call. Okay. It would help if I shared my screen, wouldn't it? Oh, God's sake. Where's it? Share screen. Oh, yeah. I will get used to this. I'm pretty sure. I really will. I think it's just best just not to get flustered with it. Right, let me just go back and make sure that I'm now sharing my screen. Yes, I am. I'm now sharing the screen. Yay. Okay, right, so now we're going to listen to that 911 call. And like I said, it's about 4 minutes long, so it's not long at all.
I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child got badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Murdaugh Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Murdaugh Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. 4147 Murdaugh Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hurry.
Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay? Okay.
Collin County Communications.
Collison, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line. Call us from 4147 Murdaugh Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennel.
Okay, and did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No. Nobody.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Okay, and did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man, I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions, don't slow them down, okay? And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody. They're not. Neither one of them's moving.
What is your telephone number? And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really. No, ma'am.
Okay.
Are they close, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been en route with you ever since you've got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you. Okay. I don't want you to touch them at all, okay? I don't know if you've already touched them, but I don't want you to touch them just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
I already touched them trying to get to see if they were breathing.
Okay. Well, I just don't want you to move anything just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
Okay. Right. So, that's a 911 call. I don't know about his demeanour on there because, you know, you always hear people say, don't you, that either people don't seem upset enough or they're overdoing it, you know, showboating. And I kind of don't see either of that. And yeah, I don't see anything that sways me kind of either way. But so with this, the 911 call, sorry. So what I then wanted to just have a look at was which just really, I just found it so interesting. So I'm just going to show you a few photos. Okay. So the first one that I want us to look at is... Where are my photos? Okay. Right, so this one first. Right, so this just gives you an idea of how big the actual property is. Can you see my cursor as I'm doing this? No. Oh, you can. Sort of. All right, so as you can see, this property is absolutely massive. So this path here is what you drive down off of the main. So you come off the main road, and then this path is quite, where my mouse is here, it's really long just in itself. And then just to give you some idea of what we're looking at here, because I had to look at it a few times to get it right. So here we've got, so this is where we see, so this is what confused me, because we've got the doghouse up here, which is up where kind of Maggie's body was found. And then if you go around, just kind of hopefully follow my mouse, in this storage room, that was where Paul was found. And then you've got the dog kennels. So, and then this is like the building here. So when I was looking, I was just trying, because I just wanted to try and get my, you know, like, what am I looking at? Because it's just to get my head around it kind of thing. So this picture, I think, gives it, is more clearer. So this is where, I don't know whose car is that, if that's the police car or his car. I mean, I'm not sure about that. So I'm gathering this is the outhouse, dog kennels over here. And then next to it is that storage. So with the white roof, that's where the storage is. And then, so just, if we go in between the white roof and the red roof, that's where Paul was found. And then, so Maggie would have been found around the front of where this kind of red building is here. So what we'll do, just go back just so we can get that clearer. So that's the red roof. we've got the storage room, and we've got the kennels. So I think it seems to be the consensus that sorry, I'm just going back to comments quickly. So Louise, yeah, my first reaction is that it sounds genuine, actually. Yeah, and I kind of felt that as well. I did think that. But then again, like you said, was he rehearsed? I mean, remember, this is a lawyer we're talking about, and he's not a small lawyer. I mean, he's a big shot in what he does. So he knows how to talk. And I actually touched on it yesterday when we was looking at that interview in the car, because I really thought that actually he was playing it down. He almost seemed to be, because he's known for being, forthright and in his job and in his private life. And I kind of felt like he was quite passive. And I've kind of found that a bit, it was almost like he was playing down how you wouldn't have thought he was an attorney, the way that he was speaking. So this is a diagram. So we've got so the consensus, like I said, is that Paul was struck first. Now, we know that would make sense, because you would, for whoever this was, you would imagine that you would take out the biggest threat first. If this was a targeted attack, and then maybe perhaps Maggie heard that shot and she was on her way, to see what happened. I mean, they had a hunting room and they were used to keeping guns, but she might have, knowing that Paul was where the dogs were, she may have thought that was really odd that she would have heard any gunshots at that point. So we've got the layout here, and again, just so like I said, red roof in between, Maggie at the front, there's a storage room, and this was just a close-up. Just also, as we're looking at these, let's just remember as well that the night that this happened, oh, hey, hey, Diggler. Oh, it's so good to see you. Honestly, thank you. So, Diggler, just got here, Hayley. Hi. I'll be listening on you because having tea right now. That's fine. I am just, and you got friends coming at 7. Oh, thank you, though. Thank you for being here. It's really lovely to see you. So, thank you for your support. Okay, so, so as I was saying, we know that it was raining that night, and it's really muddy here, really, really muddy. This is all dirt, and actually, it's quite dusty as well, like really dusty. So why is that relevant? So here, as you can see, this is in between. This is kind of in between that area. This is, I think, underneath where that red roof is, the actual outhouse. I mean, and look how dusty it is. Look at all the footprints. As I said, it was raining that night. You would have thought that would have made it, quite messy. Again here, more of close up. We can see the footprints. I mean, literally, this is like so dusty. I can't imagine, right, that anybody would be in that area while it was raining and not be dirty and dusty and wouldn't have signs of being there. I mean, I didn't realise just how kind of, yeah, kind of dirty it was. Now, this is by the dog kennels, and this is water. Now, this apparently is not from the rainwater. I don't think. I think this is where, because this is where the kennels were, and I think these held water, and maybe that's what Paul was doing at the time, or maybe Maggie had done it earlier, and they were just filling up the water, and some had got spilled. But even so, it's still interesting because that would have merged with the dirt, which is either side. So where that wet patch is, you know, that seeped in to that dirt. So again, you would have, if you were treading on that, your shoes, you'd be able to tell. I mean, it'd all be on your shoes, wouldn't it? And again there. Okay, so there's the wet area. And this is where we see that dirt and all that dust. So just so you know, I think this is Murdaugh's feet that we see in this picture. I can't imagine it's an officer who has taken his shoes off. Alex was wearing flip-flops when they arrived, when the police arrived. And obviously we can see there that there's some blood splatter. And trigger warning, because the next few pictures, you know, they are a little bit distressing, and maybe to some people. So a trigger warning, in that if you don't like that kind of thing, then maybe you don't want to see these photos. 30 yards apart. That's how that was the distance between Paul and Maggie. So not only am I not very good at geography, I'm not really very good either at measurements. I will confess to that. So 30 yards apart, I don't think that's very far. Yeah, I don't think that's very far apart. Okay. All right, and like I said, this is exactly why I just did that warning, because you know, Paul's brain was completely detached from his head. So with that in mind, we need to set the scene. So we need to set the scene of, it was raining, heavily raining. It was muddy. It was really dusty. So it beggars belief that you've now got, added to that mix, 2 victims who have been executed. And, you know, we know that the crime scene was particularly bloody, you know, to say the least. I mean, that's an understatement. So I then thought, well, you know what? Because we were kind of touching on it yesterday, that's been kind of more going on here. This is a storage room. So this is like in between that, the picture that I showed you of the outbuilding with the red roof, and then you have the white, and then you've got the white roof, and then this. So this is the door to the storage room. This blanket that you can see just at the bottom by the door, it's like I think it's like I think that's a kind of part of a blanket. But this is where Paul was. So Paul was just a bit further up from where that door is. And then, so the in direction to the yellow arrow was where Paul was found. And we know, because we've just seen, that the ground going into there is muddy, it's dusty, and it's wet. So then we come to this, which is, these are the sliders, flip-flops that Alex was wearing, and they were taken from him that night. So we are heard, so we're to believe that Alex pulls up in his driveway. He comes across this horrific scene, blood everywhere, dirt, dust, raining, and absolutely, Louise, they look like they're new. Do they look like shoes from a man who has apparently come across this awful scene with the rain, the mud, the dust, the blood, brain matter? We know he said, I went to them, I took their pulses, I tried to turn Paul over. Where's that evidence then on his shoes? Where is all the dust? Where is all that? Where's the blood? Where's the evidence that he was by all means going absolutely frantic? Because when you look at these shoes, there's no way on this earth that he had those shoes on. If we're to believe his story and the events as he tells them, there's no way that he had those shoes on. I mean, I even just enlarged it just on one of them, because they're both the same. I mean, they look like you said, Louise, they look like they're new. They do not look like in any way of shape or form that he was wearing those when he came across that crime scene. There's no way. I think that's pretty damning, considering what we've just seen and how, we know the conditions of the crime scene. That doesn't add up, in my opinion. Right, so here we go. So here's Alex when they turn up. And that was the first officer on the scene. I'm not sure. I don't think he was one of the ones that was. I think he was the first one on scene, but he wasn't like one of the detectives, I don't think. Right, so this is what we were looking at yesterday, and this is why I wanted to go over it again, because this was the footage that we looked at. And for anyone who's just coming in or didn't see, I did do a live yesterday and we went through this whole interview. We watched it all and then we went through it again and then we stopped. So let's, keep in mind what we've just been looking at and that crime scene. What really struck me straight away was how hypervigilant he looks. Now, this guy he's clocked the camera. He knows there's a camera there. And he's and which is where I think he's kind of focusing. I think he's kind of just getting his bearings. And he does that look a few times. He does this weird kind of look as well, where he does this weird side glance as he says certain things. And we saw this yesterday. He would do this kind of weird little side glance, as if he's looking but not looking, because he wants to see their reaction to what he's saying. Now, this was the massive thing for me. As you know, let's do the tissue. So the dry tissue that we see, that he uses throughout this interview, stays dry. It's not dirty. It's clean. He even kind of cleans it with his glasses a little bit. Cleans his glasses a little bit with it, half-heartedly. Doesn't really do it, but it's more like a distraction. I almost felt like he was using that tissue as a kind of prop, and we saw that with Chris Watts, when Chris Watts was using his mobile phone. You know, and it was like a distraction tactic to give himself more time to kind of think about what he wanted to say. So that I found really interesting, because he never cries. We don't actually, he does cry, but he doesn't actually have tears. And at one point, he uses the tissue to wipe his nose. And yet his nose, it doesn't even have a runny nose. So it's like, yeah, come on. Without a doubt, you know, he knew what he was doing there. Now, I'm going to just move on to this next picture, because this for me was like the killer, without a doubt, without a doubt. Now, before we move on, everyone has said they're balling up in trial so far, and we've all seen it. We all looked at this footage, and what did we all think? Well, how clean his shirt looked. It almost looks like he's literally just put it on. He's got no blood on there. He's got no dirt on there. He doesn't look overly sweaty. It looks a bit damp, and that's because of the weather. It's because you can see from his face, he's not really sweaty. So we all noticed that, and it was clear. And you do have to wonder, you know, why for somebody that checked their pulses, apparently, and tried to turn Paul over, even though it was apparent that his brain was detached from his head. We see nothing on this white shirt. Nothing. We don't see what we would. I mean, has he gone over the top to try and cover himself? Because did he? I'm trying to think about the way that he thinks, because he's a clever guy. He knows how the law works, and yeah, did he not realize that if he did change clothes, it would look just as, you know, it would look just as damning as if his shirt was covered in it. So I don't know. I don't think that's a shirt that he was wearing when he found them, or he had made no attempts to touch them, take pulses, or move that body. Right. So this is where my main contention is about this whole piece of footage, is this pocket. So I've heard loads of people talk about the shirt, but I haven't heard many people talk about the pocket. This pocket is, I've enlarged it, is really shallow. So the glasses, they're kind of only halfway go into that pocket. He had 2 pairs of glasses in that pocket. And Louise, you're right. Surely he wouldn't make rookie mistakes like that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? That's what it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I'm not sure either way, but yeah, definitely. So this pocket, yeah, 2 pairs of glasses in it, but look how shallow the pocket is. So, oh, take care, Diggler. I'm so glad you can make it, and thank you for your support. And yeah, I'm sure I'll see you later on for Rosie's live. Curious Rose. She's doing a live later, so I'm looking forward to that. Right, so this pocket, it's really shallow. So if we're to believe his story, that comes across his wife and his son, and he bends over. He's on his hands, isn't he? I mean, he has to be. He's got to be like crouching down. It's dark for him to see his son, to be able to take the pulses, to try and turn Paul over. Would you not have thought that those glasses would have fallen out of his pocket? That there's no way. It's too shallow. It's too shallow for the glasses, so they would have fallen out. In my opinion, I find it very hard to believe that whilst he was bending over, they stayed in that pocket. So then if we think about, well, okay, maybe they did fall out his pocket, and maybe they fell on the floor, and then maybe he picked them back up, he picked them back up again and put them back in the pocket. Well, then wouldn't we see some evidence of that? Wouldn't we then see some mud or dirt around that pocket where he'd put them back in? And we don't. We don't see that. And I think that's like a biggie for me. I mean, again, like, rookie mistake. If you're gonna like choose a shirt with a pocket, that you're planning to use whilst you discover your wife and son, I think he might have chosen the wrong one. I'm not sure if I don't know if the defense or the prosecution have picked up on that. Like I said, I've heard them talk a lot about the shirt, but not the pocket and not the glasses. I may be wrong. I might have missed it, but I think that's definitely a big A. And then I'll go a little bit into this one here. Right. So then I thought, well, let's look at the glasses that were in his pocket. Look how shiny those glasses are. I mean, they're gleaming. They are, yeah. Maybe I should. Oh dear, Louise. Yeah, give the defence a call. But look at Louise. Look how shiny they are. Like they are gleaming. I mean, so this is a fumbling man who's come across a horrific scene. He's got a shallow pocket. He's doing all sorts. He's taking pulses. He's trying to turn bodies over that are detached from their brain, and we kind of know from the shallow pocket that they probably would have fallen out. And if they did, you know, he must have put them back in because they was on his person when he got back in the car. But not only that, I don't even see a fingerprint on them. I mean, as I said, when he first gets in the car, you see him with his little dry tissue that he uses as his prop, that he kind of, you know, has a little go of cleaning on the lens. But he doesn't really do it. It's more like he's acting. So yeah, I mean, the glasses, I was like, really? Seriously? I mean, obviously, this is in my opinion, but I just, I mean, look, I even went in closer. I mean, look at him. No mud on his face. No dirt. No dust. The dust alone on those I wear glasses, so I know the dust on those glasses, they would not be gleaming like that, even if they had stayed in the pocket, there'd be dust on them. And just so that we can just kind of look. I mean, look at how dry his eyes are. Dry, you know, he hasn't been crying. Those aren't eyes that are red raw from crying. Oh, Louise, I do love you. So make me laugh. That dry tissue has been busy. I mean, hasn't it just? I mean, wow. And what's really telling is when he takes that tissue, like the whole time he's got it, that doesn't even get dirty. I mean, yes, exactly. Like, yeah, they don't look bloodshot, do they? His face isn't puffy. What's really interesting in that video, which again you can go back and look at for anyone who's coming in on replay, when you look at the footage of him in that car, the copper, he like the cop in the car, he's sweating. And he's got a towel. He's got like a proper towel, and he's like drying all of his forehead, and he's all sweaty. And you've got Mr. Cool Cucumber here, who absolutely is not really showing any kind of well, of anything, to be fair. And like you said, considering what he has just apparently stumbled upon, we don't see that in this. We definitely don't see it in this. It's just, and it's always these little things, isn't it? You know, this is what we do, isn't it? We, you know, it's unbelievable to me. So this here, his hair and his hand. So they both look very clean to me. I don't know what you think, but my God, for me, his hair looks like it's been washed. He looks like he's not long had a shower. That's what his hair looks like to me. His hand, like, yes, look how clean his hands are. It doesn't make any sense, does it? They're just clear. They're clear. There's no getting around it. You know, there is no getting around what we are seeing. We are seeing what I believe, in my opinion, to be somebody who hasn't long had a shower and has got, like you said, Louise, really clean hands for somebody who's just apparently turned a body over or tried to and taken some pulses. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Was Alex Murdaugh so intent on knowing the law and what they might look for? Did he go over the top in keeping himself clean? I can't work out his thinking, because I know he's not a stupid man, and yeah. But if, as it's alleged, if he did unalive his wife and son, then he would have had no choice but to have got changed. But being that he's very clever, surely it would have occurred to him that he had to look like he would have had to have gone through the rigmarole of getting down and dirty on the floor, and so that it at least looked like he made an effort to take their pulses, and he didn't. And I don't know, it could be his downfall. It could be his downfall. So yeah, I think he's messed up. And like you said, Louise, we all respond differently. I mean, was he an extremely composed person? I would imagine that he probably is. I would. Just because of what he did. Yeah, I would. Interested to listen into more of the trial now, to get character witness statements. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Because we kind of touched on it yesterday when we was going through that interview, and I was saying that it was really strange because nobody, when we have this kind of cases, you normally get people come out of the woodwork, don't you? Like, oh, he was having affairs, and they weren't they fought like cat and dog, but you don't hear any of that about about Alex and Maggie. The only contention I think that I've ever really kind of noted is the beach house. There was an issue about the beach house because Maggie loved it there, and I think Alex wanted to sell it, and that was the only kind of bone of contention that I could find, or that I know of. And that's not to say that there isn't more to it, and maybe I just haven't seen it. I guess as the trial goes on, I guess we'll learn more about it. I'm definitely interested in looking at Buster's, the surviving son, looking at his testimony, because I think that'll be quite interesting. The housekeeper is no more, so that's something that we can't check that out. Which reminds me, we're gonna do I'm going to do a live on the housekeeper, because that in itself is just like another added, yeah, he is. Yeah, well, it was weird because I heard, first of all, that he wasn't going to be in the court even. And I kind of thought, oh, being that they come from that kind of background, that I thought, well, maybe he's so upset he just can't. Some people can't. It's not for everyone. Some people are really brave and they go every day, and some people just can't go because it's just too much. They can't face it. So I didn't put too much on that, but he has been in. He has been in the courtroom, and he hasn't kind of been overly emotional. Not that I've seen. I don't know what you think, Louise, but I've not seen a lot of. He seems very composed, very calm, and he didn't seem to get really upset when they were going through some of the really when they were touching on like the 911 call and some of that evidence. So I have heard, yeah, he doesn't give anything away. And then, yeah, I did hear that he is going to be testifying. I presume on behalf of his dad. But then that got me thinking, because I'm not sure if it's different, because if it's different here than it is there, because I always thought if you was a witness, if you was going to be called to be a witness, that you wasn't allowed to be in court until your name was called. So therefore you couldn't be a part of any of the listen to any of the evidence or until you've actually testified. So I don't know. I mean, do you know if that's true, Louise? Because I don't know. Because if that is true, then that means no, he's not going to be. But I have heard he's going to take the stand, and I think, like I said, that's going to be quite interesting to see what he says. So, Louise is just saying, yeah, that's what I thought. Sure, that was the case with the Johnny Depp trial. You see, that's it. That's what I thought. So maybe he's not. Maybe he's not then. I just was pretty sure that was one of those, because you wouldn't want to be. How would you have all the witnesses that we've seen so far? Now I think about it, they have to have come through them doors, haven't they? They weren't in. They didn't get up from a seat where they were sitting in the courtroom. So maybe Buster's not going to be taking the stand, if we go by that. But time will tell. So yeah, we'll keep on watching it, and it's interesting stuff. Like I said, we haven't even. Yeah, I know. Where's all our American friends? To let us know if that's true or not. If you're watching this on replay, can you please let us know? Leave it in the comments for us. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to touch on today. In just to follow on from yesterday's live, because I just find, because I think it's relevant, and looking at doing these kind of deep dives like we do, you can tell so much from so little, that's for sure. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. And thank you to everyone who has been with me tonight. Louise, thank you, my darling. And of course, Stigler, thank you. And as I said, we'll continue with this. Definitely be looking at the boat crash and Mallory, bless her. Definitely need to be looking into the housekeeper. Definitely need to be looking into a murder that had happened not far from their house, but it was kind of linked to them. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, we had a few hiccups, but I'm sure I'm going to have loads and loads more hiccups. Definitely. And like I said, thank you so much for being here. And just to recap, you know, going back to Nicola, Bulley, Nicole, is it Nicole Bulley? Nicola Bulley. You know, if anyone's seen her, if you know anything, I mean, please, you know, get in touch with the police immediately. And my prayers go out to her and the family. And honestly, I hope we hear some news soon. I really do. I hope that for whatever reason she's somewhere and they're going to find her. So thank you, Louise, and I will you know, if you've not you know, if this is your kind of thing, yeah, definitely prayers, Lou, without a doubt. You know, if this is your kind of thing, and I'm your kind of person, then, you know, please like, subscribe, and watch me as I just fumble along on my YouTube journey. Thank you for being here, everyone. Good night. Good night, Lou. And take care. Don't have nightmares.